Welcome back to the France 24 newsroom. Time now for a look at the stories making the headlines in the international newspapers. And for that, we're joined in studio by Caterina Vittozzi. Caterina, good morning.
Good morning.
So looking at Egypt events there, we've certainly been covering it in the headlines here, but Egypt itself, the papers in Cairo and thereabouts are covering it also.
Yeah, absolutely. This is front page news on all the big Egyptian dailies. Let's take a look at Al Masri Al Yom. Top headline there, President puts army in its political place. So really, the paper, big headlines showing all the details, all the facts of the decision taken by President Mohamed Morsi on Sunday evening. Now, it's quite interesting to note there's not a huge amount of editorial comment on his decision to sort of sack these or
so no reaction yet.
No reaction yet. Now, this could be because it is still a little bit early. It only happened last night. But at the same time, it's worth noting that there is quite a delicate relationship between the independent media and the Egyptian government.
As we only saw last week, certainly.
Absolutely, yes. We had these Egyptian independent dailies, of which the Al Masri Al Yom was one, which ran blank editorials, just white boxes in the middle of their pages. So perhaps that, you can imagine that there is a little bit of a delicate
approach to it.
A little bit of sort of tentativeness between the papers, how they're going to cover this very big story.
And then the neighbouring Israel also, you're looking at how they're reacting to it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been no pause in reaction editorially regards to the decision. Haaretz, they have said that this ouster of the old guard completes Egypt's quest for a revolution. They say that this divide that Morsi has sort of decreed between the army and the elected officials of the government is really something that has been like the real aim of the protesters and the revolutionaries who gathered in Tahrir Square all those many months ago now. It also says that this new power structure, how it moves forward, it'll be really key to how the rest of the world reacts and interacts with Egypt, as well as really being key for Egypt's place in the region.
Certainly the spotlight will be on it for some time yet. Well, moving to another contentious issue now, but in the US, and that is the presidential race, and Romney's right-hand man is certainly getting his reaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
From all corners.
Yeah, well, International Herald Tribune, looking at the reaction of Obama camp now to the news that Paul Ryan is going to be running as Mitt Romney's Republican on his Republican ticket. Obama aides quickly label Romney pick as extremist, according to the International Herald Tribune. Now, this is a very interesting and quick reaction. It took probably about 12 hours.
Yeah,
not very long. And the Tribune quotes a senior advisor to Obama who says that Paul Ryan is quite extreme and quite harsh. Now, really trying to paint this picture.
As the tough-speaking sidekick.
Yeah, like a real kind of right-wing candidate. He's with very conservative views on abortion. He's someone who wants to pull the rug out of the US social security welfare system. Someone who doesn't believe that the state should pay for contraception. And someone who wants to really remaster Medicare or Obamacare, as sort of we popularly like to think of it. And what the article also says is that they really, the Obama camp really want Romney to stand up and own everything that Paul Ryan has said. So in terms of, Paul Ryan has said this about abortion. So if you believe it, you've got to say it because he's running on your ticket.
And it's working for him so far, very quickly.
Well, I mean, it could be, it'll be interesting to see how his placement on Romney's ticket affects his own support. This is Romney's own support base. A little graph in the Wall Street Journal, very interesting. It shows how the pick-me-up effect of the person that's running
Which is really interesting to see just how quick it can
absolutely. I mean, it shows
effect.
It shows after the last four elections, you've got people, Bush and Cheney in 2000, how after Cheney come onto the ticket, Bush really saw an upsurge. The only one that hasn't seen a pick-me-up after naming their running partner was Obama with Biden. So that's interesting.
Interesting to know. We can't finish without the Olympics briefly, but certainly the British newspapers, I'm sure it was right across the board, they were happy.
Absolutely. Front page of many British dailies. We see The Independent. That's all, folks, after what's been a really fantastic 2 weeks of sport.
And it certainly was with that closing ceremony. Well, Caterina Vittozzi, thank you very much for that a roundup of the international newspapers. We leave you there. Do stay tuned.